Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Today's video is all about VE Cosmetics. I did a little bit of an order. Let's just talk about the box. I'm not going to show you my address, but the box is really cute. And they were very well packaged, my lord. There was so much bubble wrap. I had a field day popping, even though I shouldn't, because I should save that for wrapping other things. But I got two lovely eyeshadow palettes. I got the Book of Shadows 2, which is the focus of today's video, and I got the Green Witch palette. So I'm just going to briefly show you guys this because I want to see, do you guys want to have me do a video on this? I think it's a pretty decent dupe for the new Mitchell palette, the, what is it, Feet on the Ground, that I had bought and then ended up cancelling because I just thought the whole thing was a bit of a fiasco. So if you want to see me do a video on that, do please let me know. Weirdly, I had ordered these two palettes and they put in a free, I'm assuming free, because I didn't pay for it and I'm hoping it wasn't an accident, but they put it in a free liquid lipstick, which is in the shade Wicked, which is this one here. So as I'm sure you can kind of tell, I used the the Book of Shadows 2 to make this particular eye look. So if you want to see how I did this and see some of the swatches, etc., then this is the video for you. Do please keep on watching. Do I look utterly manic? Yes. But I have the VE Cosmetics Book of Shadows 2 here. The packaging is really nice. Tricky enough to get out, but I mean, look at that. It is really pretty. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about this is each kind of row basically has a sort of a phrase. So once you read them out, it means something. So it's like arise and awaken. I'll take this down so you can actually see it. One day I shall learn to YouTube. Can you see my light? Hello. Arise and awaken, limitless creativity awaits, trust your instinct, knowledge is true power, love is always the answer. So I thought that was kind of cute. So it's kind of become a weird thing on my channel where I sort of kind of swatch things on my face. Lord knows it is in no way unique or original. I believe Wayne Goss does it. I got the idea from my lovely friend Nikita. She has her own channel, Beauty by Rose. She hasn't posted anything in a while because she has made a human, so it takes some effort. But I figured we'll do some swatches before I start using it. So I will scoop up the hair. There you go, fringe. Now you can see all of my terrible wrinkles. It's very upsetting. This is, excuse me, Arise. Oh, that's nice. It's very pigmented. This is And Awaken. I mean, they are very pigmented. Didn't have to do anything with that. And then next three. This is Limitless Creativity Awaits. So that could, creativity one needs a little bit more thought. Creativity. There we go. And I'll take a bit more of awaits, just so we can get more of an idea of what that looks like. So that's the second row. Do I look insane? Absolutely. But look, it could be worse. So we're on to the third row now. So this is Trust Your Instinct, which is kind of ironic because I almost didn't trust my instinct. I looked down to read it because I thought, well, maybe it's something else. The pigments, amazing. Very excited to smoosh these onto my eyeballs. Then I'm going to make myself a little goatee because, you know, why not? Knowledge is true power. And I've never looked so beautiful as I do right now. I mean, I'm afraid, guys, I am taken. I am in a relationship, so souls. And then we have love is always the answer. So I'm going to take the answer again just because it needs an extra little swatch. There. But in all, I mean, I think we can kind of agree. Pretty darn good pigmentation on these. So that is the Book of Shadows 2 palette. Let me know if you want me to do another video with the Green Witch, because I also got that, as you know, from the intro. I'm going to go and clean off my face and we'll sit and try and do an eye look together. We're back and I primed my eyelids with concealer because, you know, that's what we do here. I think I might do one eye one kind of thing and then one eye the other one, just so I can get a good, just so I can get a decent feel for the palette. So I'm just taking this Morphe M560 brush and I'm going into the shade Awaits. Yeah, I like that they're each kind of phrases. So I'm just gonna kind of carve out the shape of my eye a little bit here. The mirror is getting loose on this. It is what it is. Nice and pigmented so far. So as you can see, I've just kind of gently done a little sort of a map out there. And I'm taking my 560 again. I've put it through the color switch, so meh, it'll be fine. And I'm going into the shade Power, which is that green, because I want to do the exact same thing on the other side. So that's it. I think you can kind of see a difference in pigmentation. The green is definitely much better than that kind of a purple. I may have to dip into that a little bit more just to try and, well, it's not a purple, it's more of like a blue, like a dark indigo, which indigo is like a dark blue purple, so, or is it? Who knows? Color theorists, they would know if they were good at their jobs, which I'm sure they are. I don't know. Kind of really, as per usual, not sure what it is that I'm going to do next. Are we that surprised? No. I'm going to take this Morphe M441 brush and I'm going into this shade Creativity, and I'm just going to pick it up and just kind of smack that along there to just kind of blend the shade out so that it's kind of a little bit more gentle, or at least that would be the hope. The execution, who knows? Okay, so it doesn't blend out the absolute best, but my dear friend Elena did a video recently where she talked about like blending out these sort of colours, and what you can do is basically take the dark, well, she was talking about a black and another colour, but like same thing applies. So I'm actually just going to take the exact same brush and I'm going to go into the shades Creativity and Awaits, so the lighter one and the darker one, and kind of smoosh them together, and that should make it a little bit more kind of seamless, I would hope. Yeah, as you can see, that kind of blends a little bit better. So I'm kind of going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to use the same brush again, but I put it through the color switch and I'm going to go into Is True, because it is true. And I'm just going to do that first just to see will that blend with this without having to go into the darker color. Okay, so this side was much easier to blend in. I didn't have to go into the darker shade at all. So this does kind of show like the purples, they're not patchy or anything like that. They're totally fine. You just have to work with them a little bit more. The greens are easier, but that's usually what you see in eyeshadow formulas anyways. Like the green or the purples are always the ones that like make you want to cry ever so slightly. I am now going to take the M560 again because I'm lazy and I couldn't be bothered to come up with a different one. And I'm just going to go into the shade Awaken, which is this one. And I'm showing it to you upside down, but everything's fine. Or is it? Who knows? Find help. And I'm just kind of going to go along here. So I kind of want to do the same thing with this eye, but with the blue. Unfortunately, the blues they aren't matte, so it will be going into shimmers, but I'm like, meh, whatever, it'll do. And I'm going into the shade Your, which is this one here, and again, just using the exact same brush because I've put it through the colour switch and I want to make less work for myself. I'm not like Elena. I don't have a John to clean my brushes. Everybody needs it, John. I mean, is it the worst blue I've seen? No. Is it the best blue? Also no. I am now taking a Morphe M433 brush and I'm going into the shade And, which is kind of a lighter, kind of a fuchsia. And I'm going to do the same thing again and just pop that on top. Like I said, you never learn anything from me on this channel. I don't know why you come back. Although mind you, my amount of views has been dropping, so you're not actually coming back. I mean, fair. That blends pretty well. I don't have to worry. And I'm just kind of going in between there to just kind of get the purple in it and blend that. What I am going to do though is take a little bit of the darker one and the lighter one, so the and awaken, and I've popped them onto a brush and just put them there. The blend is pretty darn good on that. I'm happy. I'm going to do the same sort of thing over on this eye. So taking this same brush again, and I'm going into the shade Trust, which is this shade here. You will learn nothing on my channel except confusion. It's not typically, you know, this isn't like typically the shade of green that I like. I like a more yellowy green. Really particular about my greens. Like a connoisseur of greens. Can I put that down on my CV? It's such a specific thing to put down on your CV. Imagine. Tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Yeah, I wish these were matte instead of shimmers, but like, meh. The Lord, giveth him the Lord, taketh away. I'm going to do the same thing again and put the light and the dark together and just pop that there. Because the dark one really wasn't very pigmented at all. Like, it was a bit underwhelming, I have to say. It's not the best blue I've ever come across. And there's a lot of shimmers in this palette, a lot more than I would usually like. And I'm just going to swish through here, so I've cleaned it off a little, and I'm just going to go between the two colours there. They don't blend obviously quite as easily as like the pink and the purple did. Nor to tell I like this eye more than this eye. But meh, it is what it is. I'm gonna actually go into the green, the dark green. Smoosh a bit there. See, can we resurrect a certain amount of it? It is what it is. You know, it could be worse. I mean, we could all be dead or something. God, that went very dark very quick, didn't it? I'm just taking this Morphe Jeffree Star brush, it's the JS9, and I want to go free. I don't know. I want to go into the shade Limitless here, and I just want to put it along kind of the brow bone, because, you know, why not? A little something, just to kind of swoosh it back and forth. I love how, you know, I'll say in my videos, like, oh, can you see this? It's like, no, Teresa, no, we can't. You've made it so that nobody can see what it is that you're doing. And I'm like, yes, yes, excellent, excellent. You will never know my secrets. Well, that's kind of nice. That's nice. Yeah, I do not hate that. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's a nice sort of a shift. So, you know, I don't hate it. I'm taking the same brush again, and I'm going into the shade Instinct, which is this shade here. It's quite a minty green. And swooshy swooshy. Again, I just think that probably they had a bit too many shimmers in this palette. But that's me just being like really critical and, you know, mean, I guess. Whatever, I spent my money, I can say whatever I want. That is beautiful though, that mixes really nicely. I feel very mermaidy over here. I don't hate it, which is always good. I'm going to go and cut the crease, which always sounds like a euphemism, but I will be back. So I can already see there's one eye that I like a lot more than the other. But it is what it is. I just put down concealer because I'm lazy. It's my Juvia's Place one, and I didn't even bother cleaning it off with micellar water because apparently this is the day that I'm having, well, night technically, if we're going to get all pedantic about it. I am going to question my life choices, always, but I'm going to go into, it kind of works out pretty well. I'm going to go into the shade The Answer, and I'm just going to pick up just a tiny amount of that on my Jessup, which one is it, 237 Detail Shader. I love this brush, it's so good. And I'm just going to pop a tiny bit in there, tiny bit. I just want like a little bit in there. Yeah, oh, that's pretty. And then I'm taking the exact same brush again, and I want to go into the shade Is Always. Like, Teresa is always unsure about what it is that she's doing, because she's really not very good at this. But sure, whatever. I don't know why you guys watch me. Presumably to watch me fail. You know, fair. Now I'm using this with a dry brush, so it's not like I'm getting a huge amount of pigmentation on it. I would get more, I'd say, if I used a wet brush, but for the moment I want to stick with a dry one. Dry. I mean, it's not bad, it's not coming out badly, so don't worry about the lines between these. I will fix that. That is future Teresa's problem. And again, taking the exact same brush again, and I'm going into the shade Arise, which is this one here. And then we're almost done with that eye. So, you know, be thankful. You've lived. You're still alive. This is much more pigmented than the rest. Maybe it's just the shades that it is, so it comes out a bit deeper, but it's just interesting to see kind of the juxtaposition. Yeah, it's probably just the shade, because the rest are paler shades. And I'm reading into it more than it needs to be. Oh well. Yeah, so next thing I want to do is just take a little brush. I'm going for a lot of Morphe tonight. And this is the Morphe M562, as really quite nice. But I think they're discontinuing this, which, why? That's just foolish. And I need to get another few, actually. That would be a smart idea if I was a smart person. I'm just kind of gonna go between the two. Actually, what I'll do is I'll pick up the two shades on that brush and just kind of swishy. Okay. So there's a more gentle sort of relationship between the two of those. And I've taken these two colours onto my brush, and again, just want to soften between the two of them. I've lost a lot of the red. Or what was it called? Arise, my jiggatees. That'll do. And I'll sort out the rest of that because, you know, there is still stuff to be done there. But we'll move on to, oh no, I'll stick with this side because there is still stuff to be done, like I said. Take care of me. I'm taking this Morphe brush. It came from their eye something set, and I'm just going to go into the shade Awaits, because you know, nothing waits for me, or something. I don't know. I'm very tired. It's late at night, and I'm putting this on, and then I'm going to take some pictures, and then very quickly wipe it all off and go to bed, because I work in the morning. You're welcome. But I was excited because I got this, and then I was like, I wanna play with it, and I wanna, you know, do a video with it because somebody might care. I think that looks quite nice. Can you imagine if somebody had actual talent and they were doing this? It would be so exciting, so exciting. So I'm going to go into the shade The Answer again, and I'm going to put that into the middle, or not the middle, into the corner of the eye like I did with the other one. So just a little sploosh of it, just to be like, hello, you're here. How's it going? Just to attempt to tie the two eyes together. Not that there's anything really in common with them, but it's so interesting how when it was on this eye, it came off as more pinky purpley, and on this eye, it looks far more cool toned. That's really interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that in a shadow where it kind of depends on what's around it. Maybe that's just me, probably. Love and Knowledge look very similar. How are they different? Said the girl who swatched them earlier. Yeah, I mean, look at them. They look really darn similar. That's not very well edited, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm going to take the shade Love. Yeah, they did not think that through. But then again, you know, neither did I, because I purchased it, so meh, could be worse. Very first world problem. Pigmentation on it is good though. Yeah, some of these shimmers pack more of a punch than the others. They were not necessarily created equal. That's interesting to note. And because I'm weird and I want to make sure that I've used all of them, I want to use the shade Knowledge, but I have a distinct feeling that this is going to look exactly the same on the eye, which, no harm, then we'll know. Yeah, look at that, you cannot tell the difference between the two of those. That's really bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix Knowledge with Instinct, which is a green shimmer. So I'm going to mix the two of those together and pop that on. And then I'm going to take that Morphe brush again, and I'm going to go into the shade Power, which was the dark green, and just put that there. Oh, I do have to blend between those, although mind you, really can't tell the difference between them. Not happy about that. I think that's poorly done. And then I'm just going to take the Morphe M562 again, and I'm just going to swish between these. So I'll just take it on the brush. And then I don't even really have to swish between the others because they're so clearly the bloody same colour. Not good. But yeah, that is the eyes. I'm going to F off now and do the rest of my face, and we will come back and I will tell you what I think of this particular palette. I'm back, and I've tried to trick you into thinking I'm a person. I know. I got a liquid lipstick, like I said. It seemed to have been thrown in for free, and it's in the shade Wicked. And this is what I'm wearing right now. It's not my usual shade, but I think it looks quite nice, and it kind of suits because it's such an unusual, weird look of having two separate eyes. Because I did want to try out all of the shades. So I'm going to zoom you into the eyes now so you can actually see what it is that I've done to myself. So these are the eyes, obviously. If you don't know that, you did not do well in biology. Let's not look at my skin because it's been a little bit weird. But when I take the glasses off, this is the overall look. We also aren't going to judge my fringe. It's a lockdown. I prefer this eye to this eye. I can't say that there was issues, but I think there needed to be kind of more variation in colours for here to have worked, and I would have preferred more mattes rather than metallics when it came to the blues. Like, there was no blue mattes, which is like, what? So again, this is the palette. The packaging is gorgeous. Like, I mean, it's just so pretty. I love the shade names. I think it's really well thought out. However, like I kind of hinted at, I think it's a bit silly to have shimmer blues when you don't have a corresponding matte. Because although you could pair it with purples and the greens, it is a bit unusual. I would have preferred to have had a matte blue in there. I also think that these two shades are so darn similar. I can't differentiate between them on the eye. So for me, it was not a well-edited palette in that sense. Everything else, like you could see there was a dark and a lighter shade that you could blend out, and that made a lot of sense to me. Those were just the kind of things that I would say they need to think of a little more. Also this, like you can see, it's really already quite messed up. They're very loosely pressed shimmers. They won't keep very well. The mattes on the other hand will. In terms of a rating out of 10, I would give this I think a 7.5 out of 10, because I do think it performed really, really well. The packaging, like I said, is amazing, but there are issues in terms of editing the palette and just considering your proportion of mattes to shimmers. That's it. I also, like I said, got the Green Witch palette. So if anybody wants to see a video on that, then do please comment below. I'm happy to do that, because Lord knows I have a lot of stuff. But that is it. That is the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe, because my channel is dying and nobody watches me. It's like the tantrum of a 2-year-old. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that is it. That is the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.